Welcome back to the channel, HBNR families. So in this video I'm going to show you how to cut this turtleneck sweater perfectly. So if you are just coming across this channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that whenever I drop an amazing video like this, you'll be notified. So before we dive into the tutorial, I'm going to make some analysis. So after taking my initial neck measurement, which is 15 inches, I added extra 3 inches to it in order to give me 18 inches, and I divide that 18 inches by 3. So dividing it by 3 will give me 6 inches. So that 6 inches is what I use to cut my neck. So if you don't want your neck to be fitted like this, you can add extra 4 inches to your initial neck measurement, and you will divide it by 3 inches, and the result will be what you are going to be using to be cutting your neck. So let's dive into the video and let's see how we are going to be cutting the pattern. Thanks for watching. HBNR. So the first thing I'm going to do is to draw a straight line for my starting point. After drawing a straight line, I'm going to apply my length measurement, which is 27 inches, and I'm going to deduct 3 inches for the waistband. Then I will mark 24 inches. After marking it, I'm going to connect it together like this. My actual neck measurement is 15 inches, and I added extra 3 inches to it to make it 18 inches. So I'm going to divide 18 inches by 3 and it will give me 6. So for the back neck, I'm going to divide this 6 inches by 2. It will give me 3 inches. So I'm going to mark 3 inches for the back neck. You should know that I'm making the pattern unfold. So after that, I'm going to mark half of an inch downward here, and I'm going to connect it together like this. So for the front neck drop, I'm going to minus 2 inches from the 6 inches, and I'm going to mark 4 inches for the front neck drop. After marking the 4 inches, while drawing the curve to link up to the front neck drop, 2 inches will be added to it automatically, as we already know that the curve line is usually bigger than the straight line. So while making this curve, 2 inches is added to the 4 inches to make the front neck 6 inches. So now let's measure it. Maybe it's equivalent to 6 inches. Let's see, maybe 2 inches is added to it automatically. As we can see that the front neck is equivalent to 6 inches. So definitely our neck cutting is correct. Now we are moving up to the shoulder measurement. So the shoulder measurement is 16 inches, and I'm going to divide 16 by 2, which will give me 8 inches. So I'm going to mark 8 inches here for the shoulder measurement. After marking it, so for my shoulder slope, I'm going to divide the chest by 24. The chest is 36, and I'm going to divide it by 24, which will give me 1.5. So the shoulder slope is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 1.5 inches here. After marking it, I'm going to link it up to the neck tips. So the next thing is to determine my arm depth by dividing the chest by 4 minus 1 or minus half of an inch. It depends on how easy you want the armpit to be. So my chest is 36. I'm going to divide 36 by 4, which will give me 9 inches minus 1 inches, which will give me 8 inches. You can minus half of an inch if you want the armpit to have more ease. So I'm going to mark 8 inches here for the armhole depth. So I'm going to connect it to the shoulder line. So after connecting it to the shoulder line, I'm going to apply the chest measurement. The chest is 36 divided by 4. It will gives me 9. So I'm going to mark 9 here. I'm going to do the same thing at the waist area and also at the hip area. So this is a unisex cloth which can be worn by female and male. So after that, I'm going to divide the armhole by 2. The armhole is 8 inches and the half of it is 4 inches. So I'm going to mark 4 inches and I'm going to come inward by 1 inch. After that, I'm going to place my French cuff on it like this, and I'm going to draw the armhole cuff. So after that, I'm going to cut out the pattern. So if you notice, this is the exact body measurement without even adding any seaming allowance to it, but I'm going to add seaming allowance to it when I'm cutting it on the fabric. When I place the pattern on the fabric, I'm going to add seaming allowance to it. So after cutting out the pattern, the next thing is to make the sleeve pattern. So I'm going to draw a straight line for my starting point as well here. After that, I'm going to apply sleeve cap height by dividing the chest by 10. My chest is 36. I'm going to divide it by 10, which will give me 3.6. So I'm going to mark 3.6 for my sleeve cap height. I'm going to mark the same thing here. After that, I'm going to apply the armhole depth measurement, which is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark 8 inches here, and I'm going to connect it together. After connecting it together, I'm going to make a slant line to connect to the starting point line like this. After that, I'm going to take the measurement of the slant line, which gives me 9 inches, and I'm going to divide 9 inches by 3. So 9 inches by 3 will gives me 3 inches. So I'm going to divide the slant line into 3 equal parts. So I mark 3 inches. Now I'm going to mark half of an inch here and also half of an inch here. I'm going to place my French cuff on it to connect it together like this. So after that, I'm going to apply the length of the sleeve, which is 23.5, and I'm going to minus 3 inches for the wristband, handband from it, which will gives me 20.5. So I'm going to mark 20.5. I'm going to mark the same thing here. After that, I'm going to connect it together. And I'm using 5 inches for my sleeve opening because I'm going to add band to the wrist, and I'm going to connect it together like this. After that, I'm going to cut out the pattern of the sleeve. The fabric I'm using here is knitted wool material. I just come across it unexpectedly. I wanted to buy hoodie material, but I just come across this and I think I should make a tutorial on it. So this is how I'm going to lay my fabric in order to place the pattern paper on it. So after laying it double like this, as you can see, I still need to fold it like this because I'm going to cut the front and back together at once. So I'm going to place the pattern paper on the fabric like this. After that, I'm going to cut it out like this. If you remember, I don't add any extra seaming allowance to the pattern, so I'm going to add it here. So I'm going to add it while cutting the pattern like this, as you can see. So don't forget to add seaming allowance to it while cutting the fabric. So after I'm done with the cutting of the fabric, I've cut the both front and back together like this. Now I'm going to remove one out of it for the back side, while I'm going to use the remaining for the front side. So I'm going to cut out the front neck on the pattern paper like this. So I'm going to relay one of the part I cut, and I'm going to place the pattern on it as well. So I'm going to trace out the neck on it. And this is the front part of the clothes, while the remaining part is for the back side. So now the next thing is to cut out the sleeve. So I'm going to follow the same step in laying my fabric, and I'm going to lay the sleeve pattern on it like this, and I'm going to cut it out. So here I'm going to cut out the turtleneck. So assuming if you want the turtleneck height to be 4 inches, you are going to multiply 4 by 4, or if you want it to be any number like 6 inches, you are going to multiply 6 by 4. But here I'm going to be using 4 inches, so I'm going to multiply 4 by 4. So 4 by 4, it will give me 16 inches. 4 multiplied by 4, it will give me 16 inches. So I mark 16 inches there. So, and the neck measurement is 18 inches. I'm going to deduct 2 inches from 18 inches, which will remain 16 inches. So that's why I'm marking 8 inches here, because I'm marking this on fold. 8 plus 8, it will give me 16 inches. So I deducted 2 inches from my neck measurement. The neck measurement is 18 inches and I deduct 2 inches. That's why I'm marking 8 inches there. So I'm going to cut here, and also the wideness of the neck, which is 16 inches, I'm going to cut it as well. So the height I made 16 inches, I'm going to fold it into 2, which will equivalent to 8 inches, and I'm going to join it to the neck of the cloth. After joining it, while putting it on, as you can see, while putting it on, I will fold it again, which will equivalent to 4 inches, just like this, as I've shown in this video like this. So as you can see, it's equivalent to 4 inches. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to sew it all, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you'll be able to get notified whenever I drop an amazing video like this. Thanks for watching. HBNR.